I was only trying to be heard above the din of 15 cash registers gobbling up America's hard-earned dollars.
You were accusing me of being extravagant with our money.
I merely asked why you ran out of money again this week when we increased the food budget every week for the last 2 months.
Ha! Well, someone told the supermarket. For example, wheat treats. Marked 68 cents. Then gets crossed out and they put 76 cents. Then today they charge you 79 cents for a box of wood shavings. Why are you opening those? You hate wheat treats. Those are for Mildred.
I'm looking for the iron-on patch.
We better let Mildred put this stuff away. We're going to be late. We're supposed to be at the Lobster Trap at 6:45.
Why?
It's the opening of the Civic Light Opera House. Can't you remember anything?
Oh,
the Merry Widow. You're gonna love my dress. It's blue, it's got a little fringe top, kind of wiggles when I walk. We're gonna have such a good time.
And what am I supposed to wear? Last month you loaned my tuxedo to Jim Hansen. He hasn't returned it yet.
I know. I went to a rental shop and got you another one. It's in the closet.
All right, as long as it's black and it doesn't have black ruffles.
It doesn't have any ruffles and it is black. Don't panic.
Well, goodbye.
Hello,
Commissioner, Mrs. Mcmillan. I'm going to my sister's. It's a family crisis. We fear a sudden case of insanity.
Your sister?
No, me.
All right, Mildred, what's going on?
Well, this arrived for you, Commissioner, about an hour ago.
Mildred.
Well, I steamed it open in case it was good news, and I could seal it up again and surprise you.
Then it's bad news.
Well, let's look at it this way, Commissioner. It's good news if you're the kind of person who can look on an epidemic and think of it as a great chance to do medical research.
Arrive 8:05, Tuesday the 10th.
The 10th, that's today.
Flight 5:20. Can't wait to see you both. Love, Mother.
Mother? Whose mother?
I'll give you a hint. I'm leaving.
Wait a minute, where's it from?
Marrakesh.
My mother can't even spell Marrakesh. It's your mother.
My very thought, Mrs. Mcmillan.
She's gonna be arriving right in the middle of the baked Alaska. Mildred, as long as you're deserting us, why don't you open the door on your way out to the unemployment office?
Oh, well, no one can accuse you of being subtle. I'll give you that.
Muriel. I'll bet you don't remember me.
Oh, I bet I do.
Mother.
Sally.
Beatrice. Beatrice, good to see you.
What do you want me to do with this?
You really want to know?
It's delightful to see you, Mother, but you're not supposed to be here until 8:05 tonight.
Nonsense. Here I am. Why? Flight 8:05 arriving at 5:20.
I knew there'd be a reasonable explanation.
And you're not to go out of your way for me. This is to be a short visit. You won't even know I'm here.
You know that bird talks.
No. Could you hum a few bars?
How was your trip?
Simply marvelous. I was seated next to this perfectly wonderful little man from Libya. Well, I think it was Libya. Anyway, one of those countries where there's nothing but sand. And he didn't drink. Not a drop. Something to do with his religion, you know, like the WCTU. So I had his. Oh, dear. I'm just so exhausted.
Would you like another drink?
Oh, well, I suppose one more wouldn't hurt. And tomorrow I'll tell you all about Meg and Randy and that delightful little place they have on the Big Island, you know, Hawaii.
Yeah. Well, your visit sure did catch us by surprise, Beatrice. We did have an appointment at 6:45. I suppose you'd probably like to go right to bed.
Oh, indeed I would, but I can't, I'm afraid.
Looks like we're the in place to be this season.
Today's the 10th, you know, October 10th. Andy Kennesaw's 90th birthday.
Who?
Well, he's one of the dearest people I know. He was a business partner of your grandfather's, sir. Surely you remember my talking about him.
Well, no, not really.
Well, anyway, he wrote to me in Marrakesh. The dear man said I simply had to come back for his birthday celebration. He says he has some fantastic news, something that's going to make us absolutely rich. Isn't that wonderful?
It sounds great.
And we're all invited. But, of course, if you two have something planned, you run right along. I'll try to get there by myself.
Mother,
I'm sure I can still find my way around this city, even though it's dark.
Mother, I am not going to let you spend your first night back home alone.
Besides, we'll just all go to the party for... Is it Charlie?
Andy.
Andy. We could all go over to Andy's birthday, wish him a happy birthday, and then duck out and still make it to the theater and the cast party after, right?
Right. Now, where is the celebration?
So she looks up at me with these big cow eyes of hers and says, "Now tell me the truth, Andy. Am I the first girl you ever...
Andy.
Am I the first girl you ever kissed?" And I said, "I don't know, honey. Were you in a motel room in Albuquerque about 6 years ago?"
If she was, she would have remembered.
Hey, where's the champagne?
Champagne, where's the dancing girl?
Dancing girl, they took one look at you and they went home.
I bet your old lady don't even know you're out tonight.
He sure does, and so does my wife.
Listen, I don't think the kids are having such a good time.
They certainly are.
Well, as soon as cake's served, we'll let them go. You know, you and I have got a lot of talking to do, little B. Tomorrow, we're going to drop the lid on the stuck-up little fella named Preston Halsey. See, now, he thinks he can scare me. But I tell you, if we work this right, we're going to be rich.
Here she comes!
Well,
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, that nobody can deny.
well, now isn't that nice? You know, if I'd known I was going to live this long, I would have taken better care of myself.
Andy, not yet. First the cake, then the toast, then you can drink.
Seems like a lot of trouble for just a drink of champagne.
Make a wish, Andy.
Oh, yes.
It was the onions. Those dreadful creamed onions.
Beatrice, try and relax. Honestly, you have to expect things like this when you get on in years. Well, I mean, that many years.
Doctor.
Are you Beatrice Mcmillan?
Yes, I am.
He wants to speak to you, but only for a few moments. He's been sedated.
How is he?
I don't want to alarm Mrs. Mcmillan.
Well, he is going to be all right.
I think so. It's just that his collapse may not have been from natural causes.
What?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not going to say anything prematurely. I'll call you in the morning after the lab tests are in.
And B?
It's all right, Andy.
Coat pocket. Envelope. Be strong. Be. Don't sell. No matter what. Don't sell. Worth millions. Secret. Secret.
Doctor.
He's just asleep.
Oh.
What's the matter, Matt?
I don't know. Mother, I guess. Coming home and dashing off to bed like that, it's not like her.
Oh, she's just tired.
She's not that tired. She's up to something.
What was that?
A noise?
I know it was a noise. You're not going down there. Mac, don't you watch television? You're supposed to call the police.
I am the police.
I don't mean that. This is no time to be a hero.
Shh.
Hands up or shoot!
Listen, you scared the hell out of me.
Well, I heard these noises down here, and I didn't know what to do about it.
It wasn't me.
Well, it wasn't me. Oh.
Mother.
Stuart, you frightened me.
Oh, you Mcmillan sure scare easy.
What are you doing down here?
Looking for something in all this old stuff I've been storing here for years. Here it is. I knew it would be here somewhere. Must be 75 years old.
The Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation?
Your grandfather's company, Stuart. Oh, I'm sure I've told you.
No.
He and Andy were business partners. Kennesaw, Mcmillan, Kennebec.
No, you never told me.
And tonight, Andy gave me his proxy for 1,000 shares. Tomorrow, I'm going to go to the stockholders' meeting, and I'm going to vote not to sell.
Not to sell what?
Our shares, I presume.
Listen, if anybody offers you $1.87, I'd grab it.
Mother, let me get this clear. Tomorrow morning,
At 11 o'clock.
you're going to a meeting with this musty, worthless certificate and vote not to sell 1,100 shares of a company that's been forgotten over 75 years?
Oh, dear. It does sound kind of foolish, doesn't it? But I have a wonderful idea, Stuart. You could come with me. Oh, you'd be such a help. I just know it.
Well, I'd like to, Mother, but tomorrow I've got a lot of work to do.
I'm sure you have.
Maybe Mrs. Mcmillan can go.
I intend to, Muriel.
She means Sally, Mother.
Oh, do you think she would? Oh, it'd be so nice for us to have some time together.
Oh, she'd love to. I'm sure of it.
Poison?
A minute amount of cyanide. Not enough to kill him, but right now he's in a coma, and it's getting deeper.
Oh, no. All right, thank you, Doctor.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Somebody tried to poison that sweet old man.
Sir?
Yes, sir?
Get me the precinct commander in Daly City. Andy Kennesaw. Somebody poisoned his champagne. Mother stopped him before he could drink the whole glass.
Sir, I'd be glad to help out on that investigation. I've got a very light schedule today.
Good.
If you could just swing a replacement for me tonight.
Replacement?
Well, I've been asked to give a speech at the police academy tonight on the importance of proper reporting procedures in felony investigations, and frankly, sir,
Oh, no, you can't. Daly City has jurisdiction.
Sir, you've got to let me. Please. Well, I'm a man of action, not of words, and this speech has got me tied up in knots. My hands are shaking.
You'll do just fine.
What if my knees knock?
Wear a baggy suit.
Will that help?
No, you'll do just fine. Listen, do you know anything about the stock market?
Well, I do own a few odd lots, blue chip stocks mostly.
You ever heard of Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation?
No, sir. Is it listed on the big board?
I don't think it's listed anywhere. Would you check it out?
Well, I don't know if my stockbroker is into that issue, but I'll find out what he knows, sir.
Okay.
Would you like to hear it now?
What?
My speech.
The Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation. Yes?
Captain Jameson of Daly City on the line, sir.
Thank you. Captain, good morning. Listen, we got an attempted murder on your FWV hall last night. Would you check it out and keep me posted? And put a guard in the hospital, huh?
Looks like you were right, Mr. Halsey. Small turnout. We'll get through this without any trouble.
Oh, I expect we're going to hear from Leibowitz.
We can handle him.
My daughter-in-law was supposed to come with me today, but she's home, recovering from an upset stomach.
The annual stockholders meeting of the Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation will now come to order.
Poor girl, these things come on her so suddenly. But she did so want to be here with me today.
Yes, ma'am. We'll now come to order.
Oh, excuse me, Your Honor. Go right ahead.
Thank you. We'll dispense with the previous minutes because that meeting was in 1926 and nothing much happened anyway. So we'll come directly to the point. I guess most of you know Mr. Preston Halsey and why he's here. Harvest Foods, whom Mr. Halsey represents, has offered to trade 1 share of Harvest Food stock, which is worth almost $60, for 1 share of Kenemac alfalfa. Now, seeing as how we haven't declared a stock dividend since 1909, I'd say that's a very handsome offer.
I should like to ask a question.
Yes, Mrs.
Beatrice Mcmillan. I should like to ask why. Why this person is offering us so much money if our shares aren't worth anything.
May I respond to that, Amos?
Why don't you let me tell her, Halsey?
Now, you're out of order.
They're trying to steal my property from me, Mrs. Mcmillan, that's why.
It is not your property, Mr. Leibowitz.
Happy Howard Slightly Used Cars has been doing business on that property for the past 16 years.
But the property is only leased.
You see what they do when you're just a little guy? Halsey here wants to put up a packaging plant to make that lousy breakfast cereal. Acres and acres of land for sale all over the country, but no, they gotta come after me. And as soon as he gets control of the stock, he tosses me and the cars right out on the street.
Mr. Leibowitz, nothing has been decided.
You had that land rezoned, didn't you? You and that bird-brained zoning commissioner.
So we'll make an arrangement.
My foot. It's taken me 16 years to convince the public that I really am honest. You know how tough that is when you're in my business. Nobody comes on my property, nobody. If I have to barricade the place and chase you off with a shotgun.
You're out of order, Leibowitz.
Yeah, sit down and be quiet. Let's get on with the vote.
Yeah, we're out of order, Leibowitz.
If you don't restrain yourself, I'll have you bodily removed, Mr. Leibowitz.
By who?
By me.
You have to be quiet.
Gentlemen, behave yourselves. Grown men acting like children, especially you, young man, trying to intimidate poor Mr. Leibowitz here. You ought to be ashamed. Now, I don't know what the rest of you are going to do, but I have a proxy here for 1,000 shares and 100 shares of my own. And I am going to vote not to sell.
Now you're out of order, Mrs. Mcmillan.
We've got all the votes we need. I've got 500 shares myself. My grandfather has another 500.
And I've got 50 shares.
I've got 100.
And I control 1,000, Mrs. Mcmillan. So as you can see, the outcome is pretty well determined.
That's right. We just want to vote and get out of here. I got to go to work.
Now, hold on just a doggone minute. First off, where I come from, we treat our women folk like ladies. And you people have been downright rude to this young lady this morning. And another thing, why are we so all fired anxious to get this beef to market before we even know if it's been fatted enough?
What is that supposed to mean?
That means a sheep is not a sheep when it smells like a coyote, and I smell me a flock of coyote in this room.
Now, just a second, cowboy.
Now, this young lady here asked why Harvest Foods was willing to pay $60 a share for this company. And I don't believe I heard anybody giving her a straight answer. So it seems to me, if Mr. Halsey here is willing to pay $60 a share, he might even be willing to pay $80, even $100 a share. And just for the record, I've got over 1,700 shares in proxies, and all 1,700 are with Miss Mcmillan here. I vote no. You're out of order. You're out of order.
I appreciate the way you two went to bat for me.
Oh, matter of principle, Mr. Leibowitz. Did you notice Mr. Halsey? He bites his lower lip. Very, very nervous man.
Can I drop you somewhere?
No, thanks. I got me a rented car.
Oh, isn't this lovely?
Well, my daddy gave it to me the day before he died. Didn't look like much then, but I put a few dollars into her.
You know, I don't think we've heard the end of those fellas in there.
Well, I warned them.
Buck's right, Mr. Leibowitz. But violence is not the answer. What we need to do is to bring your case to the public eye. The idea of a huge company like Harvest Foods trying to swallow you up.
Mrs. Mcmillan, people don't generally care a whole lot for used car dealers. They think we're all crooks.
Are you a crook, Mr. Leibowitz?
I never cheated a customer in my life, and that's a fact.
I believe you, sir. In fact, I have bought many fine cars in my life from people in your business.
Thank you. I don't know what you got in mind, but I'm with you all the way.
Allow me. I don't know what you got in mind either, ma'am, but I'd be honored to buy you lunch and discuss it.
Well, as my daughter would say, Mr. McCord, right on. We can work out our plan of attack.
Not a very productive meeting, Tolliver.
Who knew about the old lady?
And Mr. McCord. You said there was going to be no trouble.
Look, the stockholder records are very old. We couldn't locate everybody.
I don't want to hear excuses, all right?
Well, how do you think I feel? 500 shares at $60 a share. I've got $30,000 on the line.
You're going to have more than that in the line if you blow this.
Believe me, Mr. Halsey, I want this merger to work more than you do.
All right. I want another meeting in 10 days.
Well, I don't know if we can do that.
It's all legal and proper. Check your charter, paragraph 11. And I promise you, the next time, the outcome is going to be different. I'll find those other stockholders, and I'm going to bury that old biddy and that cowboy in proxies. They've started something here they're not going to be able to finish.
Where to, sir?
City Hall. We better have a talk with Edgar Winfield.
Dr. Fraser.
Commissioner, how is he? No better, I'm afraid.
Is he conscious yet?
He's gone deeper into the coma. It's no longer a question of poison. That just started the problem. A man his age, it doesn't take much.
I was hoping to talk to him.
What about his granddaughter? She's in the room with him. Name's Jill.
Jill, thank you. Excuse me, are you Jill?
Yes,
May I come in?
of course.
You don't know me.
Oh,
I'm
but I do know you, Commissioner. Grandpa's talked about you a lot.
Oh, he has?
Grandson of John T. Mcmillan.
Mm-hmm.
Why would anyone want to kill him, Commissioner?
I'm going to find out, Jill. And everybody calls me Mac. Did your grandfather ever mention to you about some stock he owns in Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation?
No.
Do you mind if I look through that?
No, not at all. I'd sure like to meet your mom.
Hmm?
Grandpa talks about her all the time. Busy Bee. That's what he calls her.
Busy Bee?
Yeah, he says it's short for busybody. But I don't think he means it.
Jill, about 4 days ago, your grandfather had an appointment at City Hall. Room 348 at 2:30. Do you know anything about it?
I wouldn't know. I don't live with him. I mean, I visit him a lot, but what he does and who he sees, I guess I've been ignoring him a lot lately.
I think he's going to be fine. Do you mind if I keep this?
No, not at all.
Listen, if you have nothing to do tonight, why don't you come by the house? Meet my mother and maybe have dinner with her.
Thanks. I'm getting pretty tired of egg salad sandwiches. It's the only thing I know how to make.
Wait till she shows you her recipe for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Commissioner, there you are, sir. We've been trying to locate you.
What?
It's your mother, sir.
She's not hurt.
Oh, no, sir, nothing like that. But you know the old expression, you can't fight City Hall? Well, I don't think your mother ever heard it.
I have no intention of taking a flying leap, young man, and I'll thank you to show more respect.
Well, lady, I'm telling you, there's nothing I can do.
Now, come on, lady, let's go.
Look, would you leave her alone?
Young man, it's all very simple. I need a permit to picket.
You're not a union.
I am a citizen.
You want a parade permit? Swell. 5 days waiting period. You want to make a speech? You'll need a speech permit. That's the pink form, 3 days, and you got to have it signed by the mayor.
Now, look here, partner, look here. Now, why don't you just give the lady what she wants and make us all happy, huh?
What makes you think that you can buy a city official for $10?
Oh, he's right, Buck. Give him 20.
Lady, I've had it. I'm going to lunch. The counter is closed. You can wait here all day for all I care.
What seems to be the trouble here, Perkins?
Yes, Commissioner, it's this woman.
Yes, well, I'll handle it. Right this way, Mrs.
Stewart!
Yes, right this way, Mrs. Stewart.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sergeant Enright, and I'd be glad to help you in any way that I can. But as a devoted public servant, I must honestly say to you that there is absolutely nothing that I can do for you.
Excuse me.
Buck, this is my son, though you'd never know it from the way he treats me.
Your voice down.
Buck McCord, sir.
Can you tell me what she's trying to talk
Careful, Buck. He's a cop. Power mad, you know?
Oh, Mrs. Mcmillan, that is your mother here. We're fixing to protest the acquisition of this little used car lot by Harvest Foods. You see, they're trying to buy up this alfalfa company.
And that ridiculous little man in there won't give us a permit.
Well, if this place is on Long Valley Road, in the first place, you don't need a permit. It's an unincorporated area. Now, in the second place, it's none of you...
Isn't that wonderful, Buck? Oh, thank you, Stuart. That's absolutely wonderful.
Mother, just a moment. Excuse me. Now, you listen to me.
Don't you shake your finger at your mother.
Somebody tried to kill Andy last night because he was trying to stop the merger of two companies. I think one is a direct result of the other.
It's possible.
Now, you are trying to pick up the gauntlet. What happens if they focus on you?
And who is they, Stuart?
I don't know.
Of course you don't. Look, you're a dear son, but I came halfway around the world because an old friend needed me, and I'm not going to let him down.
Mother,
Now, let me finish. A terrible injustice is being perpetrated by an awful little man named Preston Halsey, by him and that dreadful cereal company. Andy wanted that merger stopped, and we're going to stop it.
You can't.
I've been around a lot longer than you, and I know this much. If you start letting people walk all over you, you'll become everybody's doormat. I haven't started yet, and I don't intend to start now.
Will you listen?
See you tonight for dinner. And don't be late. I'm cooking.
Hello, Mac.
Short day, Edgar?
Just taking some paperwork home. It's too nice a day to spend around here.
How's the new Mrs. Winfield?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. She's picked me up any minute. What can I do for you?
Tell me about Andy Kennesaw.
Who?
Andrew Kennesaw. Old man, 90 years old.
Never heard of him.
You never heard of the Kennemac Alfalfa Corporation?
Sorry.
Come on, Edgar. This slip was found in Andy's wallet. It has your office number on it.
What are you accusing my husband of, Matt?
Oh, that's all right there.
I thought we'd heard the last of those charges. Bribery, favoritism. Edgar was cleared.
I know that.
But you don't believe it.
What does it matter? He was cleared, wasn't he?
Then why are you here asking these questions?
Somebody was almost killed last night.
And you think Edgar may be involved? From bribery to attempted murder, what next?
That's enough, Liza. Mac's only doing his job.
When are you going to leave him alone?
Look, Mac, dozens of people come in here every day. There are crackpots and cranks of every description. He could have been in here, but I really don't remember the man or this Alfalfa Corporation. Now, if you'll excuse us.
Sorry to bother you.
The interrogating officer must lead the murder victim, murder witness, to a description of the crime, oftentimes through subtle techniques. The experienced officer, however, needs no instruction in Hello? Oh, yes, Commissioner.
Am I interrupting anything?
Sir, as a matter of fact,
Good. What did you find out about Kennebec Alfalfa?
Oh, no. Sir, it completely slipped my mind. I'm sorry. You see, I have this speech tonight.
All right. Get on it first thing in the morning, will you? Oh, and while you're at it, see what you can find out about a man named Preston Halsey, an employee for Harvest Foods.
Commissioner, I'd be very happy to get started on Preston Halsey right now. I mean, as soon as you phone the academy and tell them I can't make it tonight.
No, tomorrow's fine.
Sir, it's really no problem.
Oh, and dig up that file on Edgar Winfield, the stuff the grand jury looked at a few months ago.
But, Commissioner, I can give that speech any old time.
No, tomorrow's fine. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, fellow officers. You've probably been asking yourself, when I get my first felony investigation, and I put that triplicate carbon pack form into the typewriter, will I measure up?
Now, gentlemen, please. I can recommend goulash, ragu, roast lamb, but alfalfa.
Don't get cute, friend.
Easy, Chip.
Mr. Halsey's made you a very fine offer.
Yes, so he has $120 a share for worthless stock.
Okay, how much do you want?
I cannot sell you what I do not own, sir.
What?
I've been trying to tell you my stock. I sold it this afternoon for twice what you offered me.
Sold it to whom?
Stockbroker, acting for somebody else. It was a condition of the sale that I do not reveal his name. Now, may I recommend the turtle soup?
Check the car dealer, Leibowitz. Is he behind it? If not, has he been approached to sell?
Yes, sir.
The waiter's not talking, but the intermediary. It's got to be a recognized broker. So put out some feelers. Say you've got Kennebec stock to sell. See if we get a bite.
Right. What do you think, Mr. Halsey?
Well, the odds are it's the old lady and the cowboy. But who knows? Maybe we're getting quick pitched by our friend Mr. Winfield.
Mr. Halsey?
Yeah? Yes.
I'm Stuart Mcmillan. Mind if I sit down? Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Mcmillan, you related to,
She's my mother.
I tell you, you don't have to apologize for her.
I don't apologize for anybody, Mr. Halsey, particularly my mother.
Can I get you a drink?
What's your involvement with Edgar Winfield?
Winfield.
The man whose office you went to last Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That Winfield.
Mr. Mcmillan, are you by any chance a stockbroker?
Police commissioner.
Oh, you're that, Mcmillan.
What's your involvement with Edgar Winfield and the Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation?
Well, it's very simple. See, we want to put up a plant on property owned by the Alfalfa Company and leased to Howard Leibowitz. He's a used car dealer. Now, Mr. Winfield, he has agreed to rezone. All I've got to do is acquire the land. See, I buy the land for more than it's worth. Everybody comes out a winner.
Except Andy Kennesaw.
I don't know.
He was going to stand in the way of the stock purchases. Somebody tried to poison him.
Oh, Commissioner. What, do I look like, a common thug? Listen, Harvest Foods is a gigantic corporation. And because of tax advantages, we can pay more for that land than it's worth. But if your mother persists in preventing this merger, why, you know, we can go someplace else and nobody gets anything. Now, why don't you tell her to think about that?
Who's got the red paint? There's plenty of it on the carpet. Maybe you could scrape it up and use it again.
I need some more staples for these poles here.
Oh, wait, Mrs. That's very nice, dear. Yeah. I've never seen a green and yellow eagle before.
That's not an eagle, that's a vulture.
Oh, yes, of course. Ah, Jill, it's so nice you could come over this evening.
Oh, it's nice to be here.
Ah, good. Stuart, there you are.
Hi, Commissioner.
Look, everybody here. Stuart, we've been so worried about you.
Oh, I had to meet someone.
We've just been swamped, and you have such an artistic flair. I've been telling everyone how you painted the Thanksgiving turkey all by yourself when you were in the 3rd grade.
Now, Mother, let's talk. I am not going to paint. I am too tired and too hungry.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'll heat you up some dinner. Nobody was very hungry, so there's plenty left.
Yes, we practically have our own soup kitchen.
Where's Sally?
Oh, Lord only knows. I'm going to bring you a hot plate, and I'll put a little orange sauce on the boiled octopus.
Are you all right?
I feel very calm about it now.
Well, I know how you feel, but it'll be over soon.
Oh, I know. That's why I think I'll just stay up here in my room and meditate.
When we were married, it was for better or for worse.
Mac, I love Beatrice. Really, I do. It's just that sometimes your mother can be a little... Well, she's your mother.
What she is a lovely lady who is genuinely interested in the welfare of the people around her.
True. That's true.
And right now, she's got this thing about Harvest Foods.
Yes. Well, I've got this thing about not leaving my room.
You know, she's so naive, she thinks that a handful of people can bring a huge corporation like that to its knees. You and I both know that's ridiculous. You know yourself what they're doing, raising the price of the cereal to 79 cents, and why not? When you're that big, nobody really counts, particularly people like you and me and my mother.
Now, wait a minute, Mac.
Okay, so she's downstairs painting a few signs. So what? Who's it gonna hurt? Then she'll go out and march around with her friends and get laughed at. Well, it's sticks and stones that break your bones.
It's still a free country, Mac.
Sure it is. And if you don't like Harvest Foods, you don't have to buy it. Not that Harvest Foods really gives a damn, because there's plenty of people still around that sit there and don't do anything or say anything.
All right, stop. All right, I'm going downstairs. I'm going to paint.
That's my girl. Now, if you wanted to really help, you keep an eye on her.
What is it, Mac?
I don't know. There's something screwy going on. I think she's in the middle of something she can't handle. And I'd feel better if you were with her.
Is this the part the minister was talking about, for better or for worse?
Something like that.
Yeah, well, let me tell you, Commissioner, this is not the for better part.
Yeah?
You're a troublemaker, Mr. Leibowitz. You don't like troublemakers.
Huh? Who is this?
Some of us have a lot of money tied up in this merger. We don't want to see anything go wrong.
Hey, who is this?
Play ball. When you find yourself playing a game you can't win. Now, we can get you, get the old lady, get any of you. Anytime, any place. If you don't believe me, take a look out the window at your garage.
No.
No. What do you mean, no?
I said no. No picketing, no demonstrations, no nothing.
But how do you expect to win this fight if you don't fight?
Mrs. Mcmillan, I quit. I give up. They can have my cars, my showroom, my brochures, the towels in the men's room.
Mr. Happy, or whatever your name is, we came down here just for you.
I appreciate that more than you know, but I just can't fight them anymore.
You mean they've gotten to you, as it were?
First thing this morning, I sold my stock in the Alfalfa Corporation. I phoned in an ad to the paper. I called my attorney. Then I sent a wire to my son in Miami. He should get a room ready. Now, that's it. So unless you want to buy a car, may I ask you, please, to vacate my premises?
Ladies, it's obvious the enemy has declared war. And our man, Mr. Leibowitz, is the first casualty. Therefore, I think we should counter with a frontal attack and hit Harvest Foods head on. Downtown.
Beatrice, you mean the new headquarters building? This is Saturday.
Well, what difference? Maybe we can block a little traffic or something.
We haven't got a permit.
Sasha. Ladies, to our cars.
Good luck.
Oh, Commissioner, you scared the wits out of me.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking for Sergeant Mulder.
Oh, I'm Sergeant Mulder. Lorraine G. Mulder.
Oh.
Shield number 2371.
Oh, it's nice to see you.
Oh, well, maybe I ought to put my badge
Oh,
on.
no, that won't be... Now, be careful.
Well, since I'm not in uniform, maybe I should. Does that look all right?
Oh, yes, it looks just fine. I don't think anybody will miss it.
Oh. Oh, I've got almost all the stuff you asked for, sir. I'll have this typewritten, and these are copies of the documents. The Mcmillan Alfalfa Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
It was chartered in 1901, and the principal officers were Andrew Kennesaw and John T. Mcmillan. Is that any relation, sir?
Yes, my grandfather.
Oh,
Oh, well, the purpose of the company was to engage in research and development for new uses of alfalfa. But we don't cross-file any copies of patents or copyrights. Those would have shown up if the company had made any significant discoveries.
And these?
Deeds, title searches, tax reports. See, the company still owns a few small parcels of land in and around the Bay Area. You know, an acre here, a few acres there. I think there are about 6 in all. Well, see, our records are just a little incomplete because of the '06 earthquake.
This little parcel of land is where the used car lot is on.
Oh, right. That's leased to Howard Leibowitz. It's a mixed residential zone, R2.
Thank you, Sergeant. I hate to call you in on a Saturday morning like this.
Oh, that's no problem at all, sir. I'm studying for the lieutenant's exam. I hope to be made captain by the time I'm 30. If I can get somebody to notice me.
I don't think that will be a major problem. Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah.
Beatrice, how long are we supposed to keep this up?
As long as it takes, Sally, dear. You really should have worn flats.
I don't think anybody is noticing us.
No? Then what's he doing here? Come, come, ladies, move smartly. We have an audience.
Come in.
Tom. Sorry I took so long.
Never mind all that, Preston. What are those people doing down there? I came in on a Saturday morning to catch up on my work, and I'm confronted by a bunch of women babbling something about alfalfa.
I believe I memoed you on the 1st regarding our plans to acquire the Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation. You see, they control the acreage that we've scouted for the new packaging plant.
Wasn't there some zoning problem there?
I worked that out with the zoning commissioner, Mr. Winfield.
Well, that's all just fine, Preston, but what's it got to do with the parade by my front door?
Well, in matters like this, there's always a couple of cranks, but I wouldn't worry about it because they're not going to be there that long.
Now, look, we've got enough troubles with the public already. If it isn't short waiting, it's mislabeling or price fixing and who knows what else. Now, if this alfalfa company acquisition is going to mean that kind of publicity, I want no part of it. Just forget it. Find someplace else for the plant.
Tom, that site is ideal.
I don't care. We're here to sell cereal. America loves sweet treats and Frisky Flakes, and they're going to keep on loving them.
May I use your phone to call the police?
Police? That's the last thing I want down there.
Well, actually, I've already called the police, but it might not be too late to keep them away.
Wrong, Preston. It is too late.
What's the occasion, ladies?
Equal rights for all.
Terrific. Now, who's in charge of this festival of indignation?
No one's in charge, officer. This is a spontaneous protest against the monopolistic powers of big business.
May I see your permit?
The issue is clear-cut, officer. A giant corporation on the one hand, a helpless small business on the other.
You don't have a permit, right? Okay, then it's time to break it up, girls. Time to go home to our husbands and our children.
What is that supposed to mean?
You got a home to go to, lady?
Do you?
Look, you gotta have something better to do than to march around here all day.
Oh, like wash the dishes and scrub the floors, right?
Now you got it.
Oh, officer. Sergeant, is it Sergeant?
Sergeant.
Yes. Sergeant, you're a man of steel. From the neck up.
That's telling him, Sally.
As a matter of fact, I don't think I'll be leaving here at all unless you drag me away.
Come on, girls. Stamp out harvest.
Okay, boys, that's it. Let's bring them in.
Ladies. Oh, ladies. Ladies. Let's remember, we're ladies.
I think it's only fair to warn you, officer, I'm Police Commissioner Mcmillan's wife.
Yeah. And I suppose the old biddy's his mother, huh?
Isn't that lovely? He recognized me.
Oh, Commissioner, good morning.
Morning, Charlie. How are you?
Never felt better, sir.
Down last time I saw you.
Oh, I guess you might call those the pre-performance jitters. You know what they say, sir. If you're not nervous, you don't give your best. And if I may say so, sir, I was a mild sensation last night. My speech, sir. My speech to the Academy boys on the importance of proper reporting procedures in felony investigations.
Oh, yes.
In fact, Commissioner, I was so successful that they've invited me back in 2 weeks to talk on the subject of care and maintenance of police property.
Well, before you go running off writing another speech, did you find out anything more on Winfield's activities vis-a-vis Andy Kennesaw?
Yes, sir, I sure did. Now, you remember Maggie, the file clerk in Winfield's office? Well, at your suggestion, sir, I invited her out last night and took her with me to the police academy. And if I may say so, sir, she was very impressed also with my ability to appear
Did you find out
spontaneous and
anything more on Winfield's activities vis-a-vis Andy Kennesaw?
Yes, sir. Well, according to Maggie, your friend Andy visited the office about 4 days ago. Now, she didn't hear what they said, but, well, they were making an awful lot of noise, sir.
You mean they had a fight?
Well, it seemed like a fight, because Kennesaw stormed out of the office. And then Winfield got on the phone right away to Preston Halsey. Now, does that make any sense, sir?
I think I'll pay a little unofficial visit to Winfield's office.
You want me to go with you, Commissioner?
No, I'll go alone. I can't quite put my finger on it, but something strange is going on. I'll give you a call.
Sergeant, be a dear, will you? There's some very nice reporters out there, and I'd like them to take a few pictures when you slap me in irons. Favoritism, that's all it was. If I'd been anybody else's mother, I'd have been locked up by now.
And with good reason.
Oh, Stuart, stop behaving like an archbishop.
Sally, you were there. Why didn't you stop her?
Because your mother was absolutely right.
About what? My wife and my mother hauled into a police station, nearly booked on a charge of disorderly conduct?
Nonsense. We were very orderly, weren't we, Sally?
It was that bullheaded sergeant.
Stuart, you really ought to do something about your health.
It was a peaceful demonstration.
Now that's enough from both of you. Thank you. Now I want you to listen very carefully. You two ladies, and I use the term loosely, are going home. I want you to stay at home. You can do needlepoint, you can play canasta. You can even invite some friends in for tea. Mother, you can even cook. But under no circumstances will I allow you two to meddle in this case any longer. Andy Kennesaw was poisoned. He almost died. He still might die, considering his age. There's a lot of muscle being applied to make this merger work. And when there's a lot of muscle applied, someone can get hurt. It will not be either of you. Is that clear?
Are you placing me under house arrest?
Of course not.
Then, in a word, Stuart, bug off.
That's 2 words, Beatrice.
2 words. I have not survived for 61 years.
61?
More or less. By retreating into my shell like a wounded turtle. We still have a First Amendment. And as long as I have a breath left, Preston Halsey is not going to get the best of me. And that's a promise.
Did you ever notice how much you and your mother look alike when you dig your heels in?
But I can handle myself in a tight corner.
Oh, Mac, I would not underestimate your mother.
We are talking about attempted murder. Harvest Foods wants that alfalfa corporation. They'll stop at nothing to get it. Look what happened to Andy.
You can't be serious.
I am very serious. In the last 24 hours, I talked with Edgar Winfield and Preston Halsey. Now, whatever is going on, they are 2 very desperate men. Now, I can't stop my own mother. She won't even listen to me. But maybe she'll listen to you.
Oh, that would be a first.
Will you give it a try?
No guarantees.
It's a deal.
Is this any way for a police commissioner to act at 11 o'clock in the morning?
You want to try me at 11 o'clock tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Winfield, please. Commissioner Mcmillan.
Sorry, Commissioner. He's at his club this morning playing golf, just like he always does.
Which club is that?
Oak Tree. You know Oak Tree?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Oh, Mac, what a lovely surprise.
Liza?
I was going to call you. I'm sorry about yesterday.
Oh, that's all right.
I guess you still look at me as Edgar's secretary.
Of course not.
I shouldn't have said the things I did. It's just that Edgar and I, we've been under so much pressure lately.
I'm on my way to talk to him.
Won't you come in for coffee?
No, thanks. I'd better see if I can catch him.
Okay.
In and out. In and out.
Still 3 putts, Edgar.
Look, for 18 feet, that wasn't bad. Now, if you'd only come up with par...
Hey, don't complain about my game. You know, I'm not the one who shot 102.
Vodka tonic, vodka tonic, screwdriver.
And a Bloody Mary.
Bloody Mary.
Thank you, and hurry back.
Okay, excuse me, gentlemen.
Well, here's sand in your bunker.
Good luck.
Back, please.
I'm Commissioner Mcmillan.
Oh, Commissioner. I'm Dr. Joshua Tuttle.
What happened?
Andy was having a drink, and he just collapsed. He's dead.
1 second he was laughing, and the next second, zap. I've never seen anything like it.
Which is his drink?
That one right there.
Oh, nurse, I'm Beatrice Mcmillan, about Mr. Kennesaw.
Yes?
Well, Dr. Fraser called. He said his condition is improved.
He's improved, Miss McMillan, but he isn't allowed any visitors.
Oh, well, who was that?
I beg your pardon?
Well, some man just walked out of his room. Didn't look like Dr. Fraser.
Well, I don't know. There shouldn't be anyone in there. Young lady, I can't permit you to disturb the patient. You can't go in there.
Grandpa?
Code blue, 234 West. Code blue. Stand back.
Andy, again?
But no need to worry, Stuart. He's all right.
Well, what about the guards?
Well, he had to step down the hall for a minute.
Why?
Well, even guards have to step down the hall for a minute.
Oh.
Some man dressed as a doctor or an orderly went in there and shut off the oxygen. I got a look at him from the back, but just for a second. It could have been anybody.
Oh, nonsense. It was Preston Halsey. We all know it.
Who's down there now watching to see it doesn't happen a third time?
I have some presence of mind, thank you. I ordered a private nurse to be in the room around the clock. I'm sure it's covered by Medisic or whatever it is you call it. Now, Stuart, I think it's high time that Preston Halsey was brought in, as you say, and made to talk.
Mother, you just don't go around arresting people on supposition.
Nonsense. It's done all the time.
Why don't you make some coffee or something?
Why, I thought you didn't like my coffee.
I adore your coffee.
Well, all right. I'll call you the minute it's ready. How do you want it cooked? Black?
I think that would be the best way, Beatrice. You must be pretty desperate to get her out of the room if you're willing to drink her coffee.
Edgar Winfield's dead.
What?
Poison.
Poison?
Mm-hmm. Cyanide. Same kind he used on Andy at the party.
Why? For some lousy little company that nobody's ever heard of or cares about?
Somebody cares.
I'll see about Mrs. Olson. You get the door.
Jill.
Mac, I'm so sorry.
Come on in.
I should have come to you right from the start.
Come, sit down. What is it?
A few weeks ago, Grandpa gave me this. He said that if he was to die suddenly, I was supposed to give it to you. Well, when he was poisoned, but then he survived, I didn't know what to do. I mean, I couldn't ask him. So I just held on to it. Oh, Mac, I'm such a fool.
Easy now, easy.
Well, this doesn't make any sense, Mac. Mac. I hate to disrupt your obvious fascination with Timmy Tyrone's exploits, but I don't understand this. All right, you've got an alfalfa company. They're involved in research and development. But of what? Alfalfa?
Mm-hmm.
What's the big deal? They got a couple of little pieces of property. 2 acres here, 4 acres there. It's crazy.
Well, I don't understand this.
What? Timmy Tyrone didn't help his team to win the pennant?
I've gone through this entire book looking for a clue. With the exception of 3 dog-eared pages, there's nothing particularly important, no underlining, nothing.
Maybe Andy had a note in there and it just fell out of the book.
Somebody is running around willing to pay up to $150 for Kenemax stock. Stop at nothing to get it.
Right, we know that.
Now, assuming the stockholders could be found, there are 10,000 shares. Now, at $150 per share, someone has to pay out $1.5 million. Now, by no stretch of the imagination is Happy Howard's used car lot worth 1/10 that much.
Well, there's got to be another reason.
Right.
Something important enough to kill Edgar Winfield and attempt to kill Andy twice.
Right.
Well, look what time it is. 11 o'clock. Remember?
Huh?
Forget it. Let's just go to bed. Maybe we'll get the right combination tomorrow.
That's it.
What? Where?
Here. You just said it. Andy was trying to tell us something. Look at the title.
Safe at home.
Mm-hmm. Now say it very literally.
He's safe at home. He's got a safe at home.
Now, the 3 dog-eared pages. 3, 11, and 21.
The combination.
Right. Now, look here. How Timmy Tyrone bought the team from the cellar.
The cellar? We're looking for the safe in the basement.
We?
Wait.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You are going to bed.
Oh, no.
Sally?
Oh, yes. Are you sure this is legal, man?
I'll check in the morning. Where's the light switch?
I don't know.
Here.
Oh, God. I wonder who his decorator is.
Sally.
Oh.
I am going first.
Now, if a bat goes by me, I'm going to scream.
There are no bats down here.
Ah! Bat just flew right by my head.
Ah, it's a light.
Oh. Oh. I don't see any safe, do you?
Probably hidden.
Oh, I'm going to stay around here and find it.
You can wait in the car.
Oh, no. Let you take all the credit? Mm-mm. Now, if I was Andy Kennesaw and I wanted to hide a safe where nobody could find it, where would I hide it? Behind a furnace.
his lead, it would get too hot. Behind a painting. They always put him behind a painting. Hot? Hidden behind a bookcase.
Sally.
I told you.
Huh.
What is it? Mac.
Well, it's a diary of some kind. Experiment. This could be the motive.
What?
Well, it seems that Grandfather and Andy were experimenting with various strains of alfalfa, trying to develop a hybrid strain with the taste and nutrition of wheat.
Oh, I didn't know that was possible.
I don't know. But if it is, think what it means. No grain shortage, cheap wheat substitute. Could be a major breakthrough.
Well, no wonder Harvest Foods is trying to take over that little company. That has to be it.
I think Mr. Preston Halsey and I will have a nice little chat.
Don't turn around, I have a gun.
Mac.
Do what he says.
Don't move. Hold up the papers with your left hand and don't move.
What did you do? Follow us to Kennesaw's house?
You're wasting your time, Commissioner. I'm not saying a word until I see my lawyer.
Stuart, what is going on here? Why have you arrested Buck? He's a dear boy who's been helping Sally and me.
Mother, Buck is a dear boy who's been using you. He is not from Texas, and I doubt if he knows which end of the cow the milk comes out of.
What?
William G. McCord of Grand Rapids, Michigan, an employee of All American Breakfast Foods, a wolf in blue suede jacket.
You mean he's an industrial spy?
Who may be guilty of the murder of Edgar Winfield and the attempted murder of Andy Kennesaw.
Now, come on, Commissioner. You don't believe that.
Maybe, maybe not.
All right. Look, a couple of weeks ago, my company learned that Preston Halsey was trying to acquire Kennemac alfalfa. Now, it seemed absurd, but Preston Halsey is one of the brightest people in the business.
And you came out here incognito to compete with Harvest Foods for control of the company?
Yes.
Then you're the one who's been buying up the stock through that broker.
I'm afraid so, Mrs. Mcmillan. We figured if Harvest Foods was interested, we'd better be too.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but you're wasting your time. It seems that Harvest Foods was interested in the long-lost formula. We had it analyzed this morning. It's worthless.
You mean Andy's company isn't worth anything?
No, the formula isn't worth anything.
No, it certainly isn't. We discarded those theories 40 years ago. And why is Halsey trying to buy up this little company?
Maybe he doesn't know the formula's worthless. Now, where were you last Saturday between 11 o'clock and 2 p.m. when Edgar Winfield was poisoned and a second attempt made on Andy Kennesaw?
Oh, now, Stuart.
I was in Sacramento. I was checking out an old address of a stockholder. Except now there's nothing there but an old tennis court, and so I guess if you're looking for an alibi, Commissioner, I don't have one.
All right, you're free to go. But don't leave the city unless you check with us.
Thanks, Mrs. McMillan.
That was very magnanimous of you, Stuart. Buck really is a dear boy.
Sergeant Enright, please. Charlie, a man is leaving the building by the name of William McCord. I want a 24-hour tail put on him.
Stuart, I'm ashamed of you.
I'm sorry to be underhanded, Mother.
I don't mean that. You're tailing the wrong man. Preston Halsey is at the bottom of everything. If you won't do something about him, I will.
Mother, I've got a murder and 2 attempted murders on my hands. I am not going to waste one more minute of my time or the department's time watching you make a fool of yourself. Now, go home and behave yourself, or I shall buy you a one-way ticket to Little Rock, Arkansas, where you can spend the next month visiting Cousin Bertha and her 7 children.
Oh, dear. I don't have much choice, do I?
No.
you write something you didn't like?
Oh, no. I haven't even read the paper this morning.
Well, that's not going to make it any easier. I know I'm going to be sorry I asked this, but what are you doing?
Making up a dummy package, of course. They do it on all the detective shows.
Oh, somebody get kidnapped or something?
No, no.
Oh, I see. Just a simple case of extortion or blackmail?
Well, that's just silly.
Yes, I thought it would be, but I couldn't resist the temptation to say it.
Here we are. Wish me luck.
Luck.
Mildred, who was that?
I think it was an FBI agent disguised as your mother-in-law.
What?
We've got a tail on McCord, sir. Oh, Commissioner, it's lunchtime. There's nobody in the outer office. Sir, did I tell you that I have been honored? They've asked me to speak again at the Academy.
That's something new.
Yeah, I thought so, too. Well, it's lunchtime, sir. Are you hungry?
Huh? What?
It's lunchtime. Let's go eat.
Oh, no, later. Come on, let's go down to research. I want to check something out.
Mac doesn't answer, Mildred. I'm really worried about her.
Oh, don't worry. Your mother-in-law can take care of herself.
Why would she take a dummy package full of newspaper to Preston Halsey?
How do you know that's where she went?
Well, she left the phone book open to this page, and there's his name. Who else would she be going to see? I'm going to go after her, Mildred. You keep trying Mac. Tell him where I went.
Hello? Anyone here? Hello? Hello?
What do you want?
Oh, dear me, you frightened me to death.
What are you doing here?
Well, I'm here, as they say, to do a little business, Mr. Halsey.
Well, I'm afraid you're a little bit late.
I know what you've been up to.
Don't lecture me, Mrs. Mcmillan. The corporate world is a snake pit, as you're discovering. Men like myself survive any way we can.
Including murder?
Murder?
Oh, don't treat me like a foolish old lady, Mr. Halsey. I've brought it with me. And I'm prepared to sell it, if the price is right.
Sell what?
Why, the formula, of course.
What formula, Mrs. Mcmillan?
Look, Charlie, at the bottom of this page. 6 acres of alfalfa at Hagg's Farm. A piece of property they just bought on Delavan Road. No, I don't see any 6 acres listed. And I never heard of Delavan Road.
We have some old maps in the rear, Commissioner, that date back to the turn of the century.
I'd like to see one.
You know, sir, maybe they just sold that piece of property.
And maybe they didn't. Look at this date. January 1906, year of the earthquake. Question. Suppose Kennebec Alfalfa owned a piece of property they lost the records on. If so, where is the property?
What about that used car lot?
No, it isn't worth near what's been going on. Add it up. Property plus a dead zoning commissioner. Since he's in the middle of it all, title searches, grants, deeds, maybe he stumbled onto something about Harvest Foods in Kennebec.
Here you are, Commissioner. This map is dated 1902.
Let's see if we can find Delavan Road. particularly Hagg's Farm.
According to this, sir, it's southwest of the bay.
Here we are, Delavan Road. And Hagg's Farm.
What is it, sir?
Well, I don't know.
Mrs. Mcmillan, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the secret formula, of course, for turning alfalfa into cornflakes or something like that.
Well, may I see it?
Certainly not. Not yet. Not until you're honest with me, Mr. Halsey.
My dear lady, I cannot possibly comment intelligently on your formula unless I look at it.
I know you killed that, Mr. Winfield, and you tried to kill Andy, and there's no sense denying it.
You're really incredible, Mrs. McMillan.
Flattery does not impress me, sir.
Commissioner, are you sure that this is Delavan Road?
Exactly. Look, the old road runs along there.
Right, and it intersects 13th Street right here.
Yeah. Well, this should be it.
Commissioner?
Uh-huh. No wonder Harvest Foods is trying to buy that alfalfa corporation.
All right, Mrs. McMillan, all right. What's the difference? Everything's coming apart anyway. That new tower building? That was my idea. Tom Ewing, put that in my hands. I mean, total charge. I knew it was a make-or-break situation career-wise, see? And for a while, things moved along, I mean, just perfectly. Then one day, when the building was nearing completion, Edgar Winfield came to me. He discovered a 70-year-old title flaw. It seems that the Kennebec Alfalfa Corporation still owned the property on which I was building a $15 million office building.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear, indeed. Winfield wanted money to be quiet. A lot of money. $10,000 at first, so I paid it. But that wasn't the end of it. He wanted another 10. Then he wanted 20.
Well, why didn't you just go to this Mr. Ewing and tell him?
My dear lady, I had selected that site, see? Kennebec had us over a barrel. I mean, if the truth ever came out, why, we'd be tied up in court for years, and I'd be out in the street, and nobody's gonna hire me.
So you killed Mr. Winfield rather than pay blackmail.
No. I was trying to buy the company, yes. I would have paid $500 a share, $1,000, anything to acquire Kennebec, right? But murder? No. I swear to you, I know nothing about what happened to Mr. Winfield or to your friend.
Mr. Halsey?
Why, Sally.
I caught her snooping outside your window, sir.
Sally, isn't it wonderful? Mr. Halsey isn't a murderer, just a crook.
No, just a businessman, Mrs. McMillan. Anyway, I'm going to go see the commissioner, and I'm going to tell him everything I know. I've already written out my resignation from Harvest Foods. Just doesn't make any difference anymore.
Sorry. I can't let you do that.
Carlisle, what is this?
Just a slight change in plans, sir. Over there, ladies.
All right.
Don't do anything foolish.
Who is this man?
Well, I thought that he was my loyal assistant.
You never can tell, Mr. Halsey. Speaking as one businessman to another.
Carlisle, don't ruin your career.
What career? Like yours? 20 years of trying to climb a greased pole for what? Ulcers and a bad liver? A lot of money you're too old to enjoy? Not for me, thanks.
What is he talking about?
Well, I'm not sure, Beatrice, but I think it's trouble.
Right, ladies. About $850,000 worth, and all tax-free. A sort of inheritance from Mr. Edgar Winfield. You see, once this bushy-tailed commissioner puts things together, he's liable to figure out I killed Winfield and tried to kill Kennesaw. Unfortunately, I can't leave any of you around to talk about it. Now sit down over there and write what I tell you. Sit down. To whom it may concern, I can't live with myself any longer. Yeah, hello. It's me. There's been a little foul-up. No, nothing we can't handle. I'll see you at the lodge in 45 minutes. I killed Edgar Winfield. Write it.
Oh?
Mr. Ewing?
Commissioner Mcmillan.
Commissioner, yes.
I'm sorry to bother you at home, sir, but I've just learned that your new tower is built on property you don't even own.
What?
Was Preston Halsey in charge of that project?
Why, yes, he was, but, Commissioner, are you sure?
Afraid so.
I'll call Preston.
No, don't do that. I wouldn't like to scare him off. Where does he live?
Where's your car?
My car? Oh, my car wouldn't work. My car is just a little bit smaller than that.
Yeah, well, let's try it. Come on.
Well, if you want to try and squeeze in it.
You drive.
Oh, no.
What?
Oh, no. I don't get in the car if she drives.
Oh, please, Mrs. McMillan.
You've never seen my daughter-in-law drive. Shoot if you must, this old gray head. Die blonde. But I don't get in the car with Sally behind the wheel.
All right, lady. Then you drive. Maybe it'll look better anyway. Drive nice and easy. Straight north on Route 123 till you get to Canyon Road. Then take a left to the lake. Last cabin on the left-hand side. You got it?
Certainly.
How fast you going?
Not fast enough, Mr. Carlyle.
Well, slow down.
Why? This is getting to be fun.
Look, lady, I don't care how good a driver you are.
Oh, but she's a terrible driver.
I said slow down.
Oh, you wouldn't dare shoot me at this speed, so why don't you just put that thing down and enjoy the ride?
Lady, you're doing 70.
Man, what?
Central, this is Commissioner Mcmillan. I want an APB out on Preston Halsey. Age, early 40s, 5'10", around 160 pounds.
Slow down or I shoot her.
Oh, Sally, don't you worry a bit.
Watch the road.
I'm an excellent judge of human nature, and this man has no intention of shooting you.
Beatrice, he's a murderer.
Oh, that was just poison. Not the same thing at all. We have an escort.
This is car 45 heading north on Route 123. I've got a late model station wagon, California plate 376 Queen King George. Please run trace.
Mrs. Mcmillan, I'm getting a little car sick.
Trying to think about apples. That always helps.
Watch the road, please. And slow down. I'm warning you.
Don't warn me, young man. I'm perfectly capable of handling an automobile at high speed.
Commissioner, this is Central. We have a report from the California Highway Patrol on a station wagon. License 376, Queen King George, registered to you.
Yes?
It's heading north on Route 123. 4 people in the car. Driver appears to be a little old lady.
Uh-oh.
She has been repeatedly signaled to stop, but has made no move to comply. Highway Patrol wanted to check with you first.
All right, follow, but do not apprehend. I'll keep in touch.
What, sir?
My mother. Central, this is Commissioner Mcmillan. I want a chopper at the Stinson Beach turnoff in 10 minutes. Ridden in a helicopter?
Actually, sir, I'm more of a balloon man. I mean, I'm full of hot air, but I can rise to the occasion.
Oh, good.
Oh, look, I don't care anymore. Just stop the car. Look, I'm not gonna fight off the whole lousy highway patrol.
Oh, yes. And while we're capturing you, what about your accomplice who's waiting at the lodge up on Canyon Road? Oh, no. As my son would say, we're gonna bag you both. Isn't it terrible? All these Sunday drivers on the road. That seems to be Canyon Road.
It only took us 25 minutes.
You did say the last lodge on the left.
Will you slow down? Please, you tell her to stop.
Oh, I can't. She's very touchy about her driving.
Oh, relax, everybody. Now I'm only doing 65.
Stay back. Stay back.
Mother, you all right?
Well, of course I'm not all right. I've just been in an automobile accident.
For he's a jolly good fellow that nobody can deny.
Listen, try not to fall into this, will you? It took me all day to bake it.
Sorry, Andy, we couldn't find any candles.
Well, thanks, all of you. You've made an old man feel that he still has a lot of friends left in this world.
Oh, good afternoon, Mildred.
Hi, Sergeant. You're just in time for some cake, but you can't bring that in.
Oh, yes, he can.
The rug doesn't need any topsoil.
Right over here, Charlie. Yes, we'll clean it up later.
Oh, that was a royal we if that was
My word. Is that real, Mag?
It certainly is.
Almost $1 million.
Stuart, the least you can do is explain.
Well, I'll try, Mother.
Sally, have you ever seen this much money in your life?
Yeah.
Touch it. Go on.
No.
Touch it.
First of all, Edgar Winfield had been taking bribes for the last couple of years. We knew what the charges were, but nobody wanted to talk. Edgar was smart enough not to show the money, so he resorted to a very old and practical device.
I knew. He buried it in his backyard.
No, Mother, he put it in several safety deposit boxes. Now, enter Eliza, who married Edgar for his money. She decided she wanted out of the marriage, but she found out about the bribes. Dilemma. If she divorces him, Edgar keeps the money. If she reports him, Edgar goes to jail and the money's returned. So where does that leave poor little Eliza?
Penniless and husbandless.
Right. Now, enter one George Carlisle, Halsey's assistant. And it's love at first sight. Well, if not love, it's mutual greed. They quickly decide to eliminate Edgar. They would have done it weeks ago, except that Edgar found out about the new building, plus the fact that Harvest didn't really own it.
Then a new problem crops up.
Me?
Right. You stirred up a hornet's nest, Andy. Halsey was trying to buy up your company, and Edgar was blackmailing Halsey, and so you decided to report the two of them to the DA's office.
Well, I thought they were trying to steal my formula.
They were trying to buy you out, but Carlisle knew that wouldn't work, so he tried to poison you. Now, with you in the hospital, you're out of the way. That's when Mother Dear decided to enter the fight.
And weren't we all wonderful?
Eliza and Carlisle knew they had to eliminate Edgar before he was exposed and the money confiscated. So that morning, Edgar goes to the golf course. Eliza takes the money, buries it in the backyard. Carlisle goes to the golf course and poisons Edgar.
Well, that's all very interesting, Stuart. But I think it's time we celebrated our good fortune. As the collective owners of several thousand shares of Kenemac alfalfa stock, I think we should see these robber barons in the morning at the cereal company and stick it to them.
Yes, Mother. About that.
What do you mean?
I'm afraid I called Thomas Ewing about the land problem. He had the city tax assessor declare the land in default because of non-payment of taxes.
What? They can't do that.
Harvest Foods has just brought the property for the back taxes plus interest and penalties. And believe me, it wasn't cheap.
You mean I'm not a millionaire?
You're not even a thousandaire.
Well, the moral of this story is you can't fight City Hall.
Well, we still have our signs, don't we?
Now, Mother,
Mac, what if they go right out and raise the price of that cereal again?
we'll write a letter instead.
Sally, I'm afraid I think this time Stuart is right.
You're kidding.
Besides, we're leaving in the morning.
We're?
Andy and I are going on a 10-day cruise. A little sun.
A little fun.
And I will help you pack.
You're a dear.